Welcome to the fourth installment on exploring aspects of culturally responsive schooling. My name is Anthony King, and I am the Executive Director of External Engagement with the Leadership Academy. This webinar is designed to provide you with an overview and more in-depth understanding of what is meant by the aspect of having a welcoming and affirming environment and how it relates to culturally responsive schooling. Culturally responsive schools create student-centered learning environments that affirm racial, linguistic, and cultural identities, prepare students for rigor and independent learning, develop students' abilities to connect across lines of difference, elevate historically marginalized voices, and empower students as agents of social change. So what is meant by welcoming and affirming environments? A welcoming and affirming environment reflects the physical and social climate of the school where all cultural identities, including race, ethnicity, age, gender, sexual orientation, disability, language, religion, and socioeconomic background, are affirmed and valued. How does having a welcoming and affirming environment benefit students? A welcoming and affirming environment feels safe. It is a space where people can find themselves represented and reflected, and where they understand that all people are treated with respect and dignity. The environment ensures all cultural identities are affirmed, valued, and used as vehicles for teaching and learning. So what does a welcoming and affirming environment look and sound like? Take a moment to pause this video and jot down some of your own ideas about what it might look like. Referencing the culturally responsive schooling rubric that you can use to evaluate how culturally responsive your school may or may not be showing up, here are a few examples of what it looks like when culturally responsiveness is continuously practiced and promoted. The school environment features evidence that integrates many languages, cultures, and identities into the fabric of the community and is regularly evaluated and updated. All classrooms have visible evidence that affirms student identities, interests, and personal academic experiences with special attention to marginalized students. Communications with families attend to the multiple languages, cultures, and identities of school community members, with particular attention to reaching marginalized groups. And students are strongly encouraged to use the language they are most comfortable with at school. So what are some leadership considerations you might want to think about when trying to create a welcoming and affirming environment for your students? Considering the examples that were just provided and others in the rubric, where do you see these types of culturally responsive actions already happening in your school, and how can you help strengthen or amplify them? What structures are in place that serve as barriers to having a more culturally responsive school, and how might you change or remove these structures? And who might serve on a team that can help take action toward integrating more of these culturally responsive practices in your school? Think beyond the leader and think about teachers, parents, and students. Thank you for your time. We hope that you found this webinar helpful in your understanding of what having a welcoming and affirming environment means and looks like with respect to practicing culturally responsive schooling.